think the success factors are reasonably invariant across environments, but clearly in a situation such as this where budgets are very constrained and we have a lot of limitations on purchasing power, I think two directions are pretty essential to strategy formulation. The first is strategy has to be innovative in the sense of addressing demands or needs for customers with limited purchasing power, because that is clearly one constraint. And that implies a second constraint, which is designing or setting up models which are extremely cost effective, in the sense that since people have less money to spend, if you are going to make something worthwhile, it has to be, for it to be profitable, it should also be very cost effective. So I think focusing a lot on efficiencies in production and distribution is central to developing a strategy in such an environment. Yeah, I think that essentially in this kind of competitive world, Portuguese companies would have to look towards those things that give them the strongest home court advantage, so to speak. So it's it's a country with a very good heritage of good education, well-developed Western economy, and strong institutions, in the sense that this has been a fairly well-established nation for an established period of time. It also has it's one of the founding languages of the world, which is spoken by more than 200 million people. And I think playing along those advantages would be key. And with the possibility of information technology, you really have you can go to countries and expand businesses in like-minded countries which may not have as strong an institutional environment or as rich a history of a richer tradition of education and so on. So expanding to countries like Angola or other Portuguese-speaking countries, especially in the software sector, seems like a very natural way to develop the best productive chances, because several of those countries like Brazil, etc., are doing extremely well. And with those large markets, you could multiply the Portuguese market size by almost 10. And that would be, I think, a very, very useful direction of expansion, especially if you consider that not all other countries can match that, in the sense that skill, that heritage history, common history is not present for most other countries there. But more than a word of advice, I would simply have a word of what I would say optimism for them, which is that we know that tough times come, but usually strong institutional heritage in a nation, with good rules and the rule of law being followed and so on, these times eventually the system finds a way around them. So I think staying with that institutional infrastructure and strengthening it is the way to success. It may take a little longer, but it's definitely the path to follow.